Start. The Institute of Chartered Accountants has already issued auditing standards, and the fraud reporting methodology is incorporated in those auditing standards. Sir, dictating the fraud has been left with the auditor, which responsibility must also be entrusted to the management or its various officers like the managing director, the chief financial advisor, the administrator, etc. Sir, the next amendment which is important is diluting the provision relating to loan to directors, that is wholly owned subsidiaries, and the directors have been exempted. I do not know why that has to be done. It is related to loans to directors, that is an amendment to section 185. Then there is proposed amendment to section 188. Provision for a special resolution under section 188 should also be seen in seminar context. Sir, SEBI continues to provide for the requirement of a special resolution for material related party transactions. The requirement of a special resolution in the situations envisaged under section 188 would have made companies more transparent and encourage shareholders democracy in the governance of the corporates. It must still be appropriate to modify the clause to require the special resolution in case where related party transactions involve an amount above a certain threshold limit. In order to encourage transparency, explanatory statement is required to be given under rules to the shareholders should also state the criteria or the basis for the management for considering a particular related party transaction in the ordinary course of business and at arm's length. The SEBI requirements and provisions under companies law also differ on definition of related party transaction. While SEBI has aligned recently the criteria for material related party transaction, there are a number of differences on the corporate governance requirement as well. The government should evolve a mechanism so that SEBI and the company's law requirements converge in regard to listed companies and companies with significant public interest. This would greatly help in easing business in India as well. Sir, the other amendments are consequential. I welcome some of the amendments and I request the government to look into the provisions of section 143 and the special resolution. With these few words, I support the bill and hope that the Honorable Minister will look into the suggestions and consider them seriously in the interest and benefit of the people of this country. Mr. Deputy Chairman, I am extremely grateful to the honorable members who have spoken. In fact, it is very rare, as I said, that law made in 2013 has to be reviewed because it is an act with 470 sections. Therefore, a lot of representations had started coming in the moment this act was notified. There were some drafting oversights because it is a long act, plus some inconveniences were felt when the act was being implemented. We therefore held constitutions with all stakeholders, and we were able to identify several points which required to be revisited. Some of those points were revisited by virtue of notifications or even under rules. For example, one of the issues that my friend from the opposition has raised is with regard to a large number of private limited companies and the provision of every onerous nature being made applicable to them. Now, by virtue of a notification, it was possible to give private limited companies exemptions from some of those provisions, and therefore those exemption notifications have been given, and the pain of some of those provisions have been diluted by that particular process. Now, I was initially able to shortlist 14 amendments, and then 2 more have been added after the bill was passed in the Lok Sabha. Provisions have to be brought in line with the international standards. Now, the question asked is, why are we in a hurry? As rightly mentioned by some honorable members, people are finding it extremely inconvenient after this legislation to comply with all the provisions, and therefore they are finding out devices of not forming a company and going in for other device, including a limited abilities partnership. People are thinking whether it will be a better opinion to do business rather than a company registered under this act itself. For example, you look at subsection 6 of section 212. For some reason, we have to be careful of this whole process. About 4 years ago, even in the Customs Act, this provision was brought in. So, a provision for bail, which was considered very onerous even for anti-terrorism law, is brought in for violation of the Companies Act. So, it was earlier brought in under the Customs Act. When I had pointed it out to the then Honorable Finance Minister, he withdrew it being an onerous provision.